صدري ويسر لي أمري واحلل عقدة من لساني يفقهوا قولي. We've been going over Kitab al-Tahara, and last week we covered a hadith in which Ali radiallahu anhu, he mentioned that he was performing the wudu that he eyewitnessed and observed Nabi sallallahu alayhi wa sallam perform. So he was relating that experience, and he was demonstrating through that narration that this is the wudu that I witnessed Nabi sallallahu alayhi wa sallam perform. And it was very similar to how we perform our wudu on a daily basis. And we mentioned that there are many narrations found throughout the books of the hadith in regards to wudu, different observation by different companions, but when you gather all of those narrations together, they do not contradict. Each narration does not contradict, but rather it just adds to the reward and the completion of wudu. Some narration mentioned only the fara'id. For example, in the verse of the Quran, in Surah Ma'idah, only the fara'id are mentioned. And then when you look at some of the narrations in the hadith, the companions mention witnessing Nabi sallallahu alayhi wa sallam washing each part three times. For example, washing the wrist 3 times, washing the arms 3 times, washing the face 3 times, washing the feet 3 times. That is not mentioned in the Quran. The Quran only mentioned in Surah Ma'idah the verse of wudu, the face, washing it once, washing the arms once, while making masaha with the head, and washing the feet once. So again, nothing is in contradiction, but rather complementary. These verses and these hadith are complementary to one another, and they give us a fuller picture of the overall how to perform wudu. So since we went over that, the final hadith that we'll go over today in regards to, okay, we finished performing wudu, now what? So there's a dua after wudu. There's a dua in today's narration as regards to that dua. Many of us already know this dua, we recite it after wudu. But the fada'il, the virtue, what is the reward for doing so? We'll go over that very quickly today. The narration is narrated by Uqba bin Amir. He mentions in the narration that he participated in a short reminder given by Nabi sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. Nabi sallallahu alayhi wa sallam was mentioning that ma min muslimin يتوضأ فيحسن وضوءه ثم يقوم فيصلي ركعتين مقبلا عليهما بقلبه ووجهه إلا وجبت له الجنة. قال فقلت ما أجود هذه؟ فإذا قائل بين يدي يقول التي قبلها أجود. فنظرت فإذا عمر رضي الله عنه قال إني قد رأيتك جئت آنفا. قال ما منكم من أحد يتوضأ فيبلغ أو فيسبغ الوضوء ثم يقول أشهد أن لا إله إلا الله وأن محمدا عبد الله ورسوله إلا فتحت له أبواب جنة 8 يدخل من أيها شاء. This narration is in Sahih Muslim. So the translation of this hadith is again Uqba bin Amir. Uqba bin Amir radiallahu anhu, he participated in some advice nasiha Nabi sallallahu alayhi wa sallam was given, and that included that Nabi sallallahu alayhi wa sallam mentioned in regards to wudu, that when a Muslim performs wudu and that wudu is performed beautifully, that the wudu is a complete wudu. And then after performing the wudu, a person, if they offer 2 rak'at after wudu, then Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will make Jannah compulsory on that individual. Uqba bin Amir radiallahu anhu, hearing that, he said, how great of a reward, what a beautiful reward that is. That all we have to do is perform a beautiful wudu, offer 2 rak'at after wudu, nafal, And then Jannah is compulsory. And so Uqba bin Amir radiallahu anhu, out of excitement, he said, what a beautiful reward. How great is that reward? And Umar radiallahu anhu, he was sitting in front of Uqba bin Amir radiallahu anhu, and I'm hearing Umar radiallahu anhu, hearing Uqba bin Amir radiallahu anhu's response, said, I just see, you just came right now, but what Nabi sallallahu alayhi wa sallam said before this is even greater than that. So Uqba bin Amir radiallahu anhu was explained by Umar radiallahu anhu what Nabi sallallahu alayhi wa sallam had said previously. Before that, Nabi sallallahu alayhi wa sallam said that if a person performs a complete wudu and recites after the wudu the dua, Ashhadu an la ilaha illallah, basically the shahada. If a person performs wudu and said the كلمة الشهادة and the dua, اللهم اجعلني من التوابين واجعلني من المتطهرين, except that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will open the 8 doors of Jannah, and such an individual will be able to enter in any which one of those doors that person, that servant pleases. So again, this is for all of our benefit. And how do we tie this into our everyday lives? One such reminder, we can, maybe some of us are already doing this on a daily basis, but those of us who are a little bit lazy or not doing this practice, is that when we wake up in the morning, of course we begin our day with using the restroom, getting ready for Salat al-Fajr, we perform wudu. But also at night time, before we go to sleep, if we perform a wudu and we go to sleep, can you imagine combining this reward of today's narration? But sometimes some people, they pass away in their sleep. If a person passes away in their sleep and they slept with wudu, the reward is guaranteed. We just read the hadith. And now let's just tie this into, we go back to the recent events, for example, in Turkey and in Syria. Some of those videos that are coming out are early Fajr, 4 a.m. in that region. There's surveillance videos of, for example, dogs, neighborhood dogs were howling. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala probably ingrained in some of the animals certain senses that you and I don't have. For example, it's mentioned that the animals are able to sense things that you and I definitely can have. Some narration mentioned they can hear adhan al-qabr. For example, you and I cannot hear it, but they're able to see things that you and I cannot. For example, jinn and other creations of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So similarly, we can just appreciate, for example, the dogs. They have a sense of smell and a sense, they probably have the capacity to feel the vibrations of the earth, the seismic movement. So early Fajr, 4 a.m., the 100 times, the dogs of the neighborhood were howling abnormally. So we can just imagine. And tying this hadith, some of our brothers and sisters, of course, we know the reward of a building collapsing on you and you pass away in that situation is shahada. Now can we just imagine this narration today, if some of those brothers and sisters passed away with wudu? Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala opened up 8 doors of paradise for them. So again, this is an encouragement to you and I that we never know what night will be our last night on earth. So we just incorporate this simple act of going to sleep with wudu, then the reward is too much for us to lose. The reward is just too much. So that will conclude the sub-chapter from the book of Kitab al-Tahara. The sub-chapter was wudu, in regards to wudu. The next chapter is in regards to ghusl. Ghusl, very briefly, we can give it that ghusl is something from our religion, our tradition, which is in between what we find today in modern times. Modern times we find either a person will take a shower Shower is basically when you open the shower head with water, the water continuously flows on top, right on top of our head, and continuously over our body. The water continuously flows. That is known as shower. And the other thing that is found in today's time is bath. Bath is when a bathtub is filled with water, and then a human being goes and sits in that water, submerges their body in that water of that bathtub. So ghusl is something which is in between. It's a hybrid of both of these. Ghusl, from an Islamic perspective, is a hybrid of both bath and a shower. What is that? What are those details? Inshallah, we'll go over that next week. Alhamdulillah.